Good morning. Welcome to week 3. I'm recording this on Monday, June 16th, and let's dive right in. So a couple pieces of housekeeping. You will see that your first essay is due next week at the end of week 4. If you have not had a chance to look at these suggested topics in Canvas, you probably want to go ahead and do that. I'm pulling it up on my screen here just to make sure that I know where it's at with you. So under week 2, you're going to see Essay 1 topics, and you'll see a non-comprehensive list. These are topics that kind of put you in the ballpark, but if none of these are really striking your interest, no problem. By all means, come back to me with a better topic so that it can be approved and so that I can make sure that I know that you are moving in the right direction. With the topics that are listed under that page, the Essay 1 topics page, that is not a guarantee that you understand what I'm talking about. I've talked with 2 of you already about topics that are already on that list, and I've really tried to hammer down and say, I mean this and I don't mean that. So for example, talking about blessings and curses, this does not mean what your favorite televangelist is saying today in 2025. This is talking about the blessings and curses that are outlined in the Torah. And so all of the topics really should be anchored in the text. And if you find that you are not able to anchor your topic in a text, it's probably not a good topic. So you may want to talk to me, set a time for us to talk this week to make sure that you and I are on the same page. By default, I would say that the topics that are listed here should more or less put you in the ballpark, but you probably want to double check with me if there's any part of you that's confused, because I do have a tendency to look at these topics when they arrive and go, where did you even get that from? That is not anchored in the text at all. You also, with the essays, want to remove, not scale down, but entirely remove any personal pronouns. I think, I feel, I believe. These are non-starters. If I see these in the essays, I will stop reading, and it's a 0 across the board. I don't really need your opinions. Your opinions are good, and they're good for your friends and your family, not when we're doing academic and scholarly work. So what you think, feel, and believe is valid, it just really doesn't have any place in the research that we are building with these assignments, okay? Okay, so that is some housekeeping. That brings us up to week 3. This week, what you're going to be seeing me do is starting to apply some of the schools of criticism in the way that I'm kind of talking through and moving through our understandings of the chapters that Harris is laying down, and also what is happening in the books of the Bible. For example, I'm going to start talking about the prophets a little bit this week with the early prophets, and then moving us into the prophets as a major consideration next week. And what you're going to hear me do is talk a lot about that in terms of post-colonial criticism, in terms of kind of reviewing what that history is and whether that history is credible. So that is something that you want to listen for this week.